Hey guys, how's it going? It's Chris here, author of the Vengeance book series over at vengeancebooks.com. I wanted to address something real quick, and this is spoilers. Heavy spoilers. If you haven't read book 1, Transgression, or book 2, or all those, if you hadn't read those, don't watch this video. Don't be stupid. Don't give it away. Now, this is one unaddressed thing that I thought about that kind of spiked in my brain and went, oh no. And I went, oh no. I never mentioned that anywhere. It wasn't really needed, but a lot of times the story is expanded because I find myself going, what about this? What happened with this? What did this do? Whatever have you. And then I have to write that into the story because if I thought it, somebody else is definitely going to think it. And that is what happened to Rachel's parents, Kim's mom. What happened to her parents? So we know that, Kim is alone with her dad. Her dad and her mom met in Florida, right? And after the whole thing with Sin and killing Ira, losing Thomas, and then making a deal for Rachel's love, Alex thought he could get away from Sin, not understanding just the power and scale of Sin and his reach. So he fled all the way up to eastern United States, which is never dictated exactly where, but I always considered it to be right around Maine. And he ran up here trying to get as far away as he could, far away from Florida and his previous life as he could, leaving behind his aunt Janet, who I believe canonically has since passed away because she was already older. She was, her mom's sister, so she was like in her mid or late 50s or something like that, maybe. And I think she passed away. And Yeah, sorry. He left, and his mom and dad are already gone and passed away. His grandparents passed away, if not, in a retirement home or something where they're just not relevant. And then after leaving his aunt, years after that, like after Kim was born and stuff, his aunt passed away. So it was, and then as far as Rachel's parents, they were alone here. They moved to a completely new town, and Rachel had to kind of go along with it because she was under the spell of Sin. Even though she was aware of everything that was happening, she couldn't deny that. Like, she had her own personality, but she could never deny a love for Alex, and making him happy was like part of her whole thing, part of the whole spell. So she had to kind of go along with it, even if she could butt up against it. She essentially didn't have a lot of control over the direction of her life. So, her, Alex, and Kim moved and were just completely isolated from the rest of their family. Alex had nobody left, pretty much, and Rachel, being an only child and her parents were left behind because her parents were mentioned before, and she had friends, but as far as her friends knew, she just fell in love with the guy, and they moved away, and they kind of lost contact with her. But I had two ideas for what happened with Rachel's parents. One of them was just like her parents had her really late in life, and they were both in care facilities. Dad passed away from a stroke. Her mom was in a care facility, and they just like didn't have any type of contact or way to stay in their daughter's life, let alone be Kim's grandparents. The other one I had, which was probably what I would consider to be more canon, is the fact that so what I would consider to be more canon is that Sin did something very similar to Rachel's parents as he did to Melody's parents. If you guys don't know, Melody Sinclair, who is Minerva, she was lured away from her parents by Sin at like a local playground, lured her away, cast a little spell on her parents to make them kind of be all hazy and forget that they had a daughter for a short period of time, and they left. And then Sin's like, here, I'll help you find your parents. And then he just basically lured her away and brought her back to his chamber and started doing the anima experiments on her and created Minerva. And her parents kind of forgot that she existed. And that's kind of what I figured that Sin would do to Rachel's parents, is make them forget that she existed and kind of erase her life from them. So in reality, Kim's grandparents would still be alive. They just don't know anything about a daughter. What? And and people around them kind of like would think they were getting dementia, that they were losing their minds, and that at this point in their age, they are like not living on their own. They're being taken care of, and they are having like broken memories of like, my daughter. They're like, you don't have a daughter, or something like that. Just have like a mind altering spell to keep them away, to break their ties, to isolate them, and to make their lives as secluded and miserable as possible. The other thing is, Sin had Chrism kill their families. Sin had Chrism kill Rachel's parents, and that's the end of it. It's one of those three things. It's not any of them particularly, but I would prefer to say that Sin messed with their brains and the brains of the people who had any affiliation with them, because it's such an easy spell. You just alter that brain chemistry, and you don't even have to keep up the spell. You just give them fog brain, and you fuck them up for life. And that's kind of what I would consider to be the more canon story of Rachel's parents. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I thought of it and I thought you guys might like to hear. So those are the three ideas. Number two, I would consider to be more canon, and that's it. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more, check out my book series, vengeancebooks.com, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.